Hello, welcome back to another episode of D54. I'm Amit, joined by Mr. Sunny. How you going, man?
I'm good, man. Glad to be here.
And you know what, guys? We're going to shoot this in one shot. So, no cuts, no editing, nothing. Well, I mean, there might be some editing, but no cuts, nothing, man. We're going to do this Lijo
Single
post
take.
style. Exactly. Because we are reacting to Lijo's own, like him talking about the final scene in Angamaly Diaries. So if you guys are new to the channel, we recently actually did like a huge deep dive on this movie. We reacted to the final scene, we reacted to the whole movie, not the whole movie, sorry, scenes within the movie. Had a great time with it, a lot of laughs, man. But Sunny, man, what do you remember about this movie and sort of this last scene and stuff? Because you had to leave a little bit early.
Yeah. Oh man, the movie as a whole was just completely exhilarating. I just was glued to my screen the entire time, and it had all the hallmarks of great Lilo Jose Pellisery stuff. Great world building, completely unpredictable, lovable characters, and then just the climax of that single take scene. Just unbelievable. It took me a while to even realize that we were watching a single take scene until you realize it at the end. Just masterful direction. And I was just thinking about, as I mentioned before I had to leave the last podcast, this is like maximum difficulty, man. If you're going to shoot a scene like this is as complex as it gets, and he pulled it off masterfully. I couldn't tell you that there was anything wrong with that scene. It was perfectly done, and I still can't believe he did it.
Nah, man, the complexity of that scene was just ridiculous. Like from the sound and the music that was used throughout, like how it just moves you through different places.
Yes.
He was smoking. He was shooting it with like smoke around him at times. Obviously, 1,000 people were involved in that shot itself.
Yes.
So just navigating around just the crowd itself is crazy. And then that one scene which we won't forget, where he goes in the hallway and just slips in the other side.
Oh,
masterful,
amazing,
man. Masterful. But yeah, this is gonna be good fun. We're gonna just listen to him, guys. So join us. Let us know what you think in the comment section about Lijo's own words and what you guys thought about the scene, specifically, because it's pretty amazing. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Hi, my name is Lijo Jose Pellisery. I am here to talk about the climax of my film Angamaly Diaries. It's 11-minute long single take.
11 minutes.
When you start the scene, you can see that when there's a fireworks trolley which is there, which is normally the clubs there in Angamaly, they organize this fireworks during church festivals. So it's a firework thing which is about to start. That's what you are seeing. So it's basically getting the audience to the scene. Basically, when you don't feel like you're watching a cinema. I mean, that was the idea behind this long take. So what we did was initially it was like in the daytime we went with our actors, the DOP, and our basic core team. So that street was like empty in the morning. So we just structured the entire choreography of the sequence. So where to stop, where to move, what should happen where should the fight happen. All this we started improvising with only these actors. So basically it was not even a rehearsal with the crowd. So we didn't know how it will be when the crowd come in the evening. So we just practiced it like that.
I gotta pause it there, man. They rehearsed it, but they didn't rehearse it with the crowd. So they just threw 1,000 people into the scene and just
hoped it would work out. And like it's the biggest unknown of all of this, right? Like you can control the fireworks and you can control the actors, but if you just put in another extra 1,000 people, you're really hoping for the best. This is incredible.
I mean, you would think that something like this would have been rehearsed maybe with at least a small sample, perhaps. Maybe like, 100 people and just sort of, trying to get a feel of it. But he's saying that no, they didn't really do that. They just practiced they reenacted the scene themselves.
And on the day itself, like this wasn't like a weeks long process. This is
no, exactly.
It's like cramming for an exam, man.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And pulling it off, right? It's like just like there's moments where you're like, let me just cram, and you end up getting like 100%. Like, yep.
Yeah. Cool. He nailed it 100%.
But what he said is like so right. Like it doesn't feel like a cinematic experience, and I think that can be said about his entire like direction style. Like I feel it's
Yes.
so different from just a highly produced, you know, film when it is obviously highly produced, but he makes it look so effortless and it's such a different and distinct style where
Yes.
it's so immersive and it's like an experience. It's fantastic, man. It's
It's one of
so
the
good.
hallmarks of of a Lilo Jose Pellisery film. You
Yeah.
feel like you are there, and none more than in this scene because you're
Yeah.
kind of just in amongst the crowd. It's like enveloping you as you follow these characters throughout this festival. Like this
It's
is like the
crazy.
pinnacle of just complete immersion.
Yeah, man. I love also like this scene had a lot of vibrance to it, like all his scenes do. But I just
Yes,
love just seeing that sort of background work with the lights, and everything like that as
yes,
well. It added to the whole feel of this movie. It felt like it felt like it was part of the movie, obviously, but it just added something else to it. Like that vibrance
yes,
carried on, and in the nighttime as well, which I don't remember there was so many night scenes, except for him just like Pepe walking in the night. But it wasn't like this. This felt like
yeah.
a festival, you know. So it's just a perfect way to end it.
It's spectacular.
Yeah, man. Let's see how what else he has to say.
Normal phone, we practiced it. When in the evening, when the crowd came in, so the real fear, when the real hang of the entire thing we got, it wasn't that easy like as it looked in the afternoon, like a empty street. The best thing happened in the shoot was movie 10. Movie 10 is an alternative for Steadicam.
Um,
Steadicams we used to use for to get a moving shot in a steady form. But now we have a much more easier equipment to handle. Movie 15 is
wow.
much more compact in terms of handling. So it's since it was a very long take, like 11 minutes. So the cam weighs around like more than 2 kgs, and this equipment again. So it's basically around proper 4 to 5 kgs of weight, which the cameraman will be handling. So the initial 10
Wow.
minutes, it was like normally moving with the characters.
തീർത്ത് മറിച്ചാ കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ സെറ്റ് ആക്കില്ലേ അത് മതി
That's it.
എല്ലാവർക്കും പൈസ കൊടുത്ത് സെറ്റിൽ ചെയ്തപ്പോ ആ കാശ് പൈസ സ്പീഡ് മരം കുത്തിക്ക് ശേഷം കാശ് കൊടുത്തു സത്യം പറ ആ കാശ് മറിച്ചു
Oh, wow.
എന്താണ് എന്താണ് അവർക്ക് എത്ര റെഡി വരും എത്ര റെഡി 30 നമുക്ക് എത്ര 4 വെള്ളടിച്ച് പോലെ വായന വേണോ നമ്മുടെ ചങ്കിരി വന്ന കവിചാസം നമുക്ക് വന്ന്
But then halfway through, it gets into a brawl, and when the characters start running, and that is the difficult part. It is like you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the part I want to actually talk about because I mentioned this in our reaction too. I was like, how did he get himself like? It felt like you're so in amongst the crowd, and
Yes.
like it felt like honestly, when I was watching it, is he doing it on like a handheld camera or something like that? And obviously not because it's way too steady for
Yeah.
that. But like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool to see the technology behind that and how much of a team they had. It looked like there was like 10 people, you know,
Well, yeah,
um,
like 10 people
following him.
carrying these
Correct.
body
Or
like
around them with
cameras.
like I don't
Yeah.
know, umbrellas and stuff. They had some stuff around them. So fascinating, man. But yeah, good to just see behind the scenes.
The coordination here is just remarkable, man.
Correct.
Like everyone needed to know where they were going and where they needed to be, from the actors to the cameramen. Like this is
Yeah. I
phenomenal
can't
feat in
believe
coordination.
I can't believe this was done like with like this was one take. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this did it one time. I've not heard that they did it took multiple times to do
Impossible.
it or anything like that, man. Right? I don't. If they have, then I guess we'll get to know. But it looks like it was just one time and they just knocked it out of the park.
And for first time actors as well to knock it out of the park like
Yeah,
this.
correct.
Jeez, man,
I
that
know.
just adds to
That's
the difficulty level and how impressive it is, not just from the directors but from the actors.
Nah, we saw, right? Like again, I was watching it. I was enjoying once again reacting to it because like you just got to see the same parts. But I just noticed then, like when I guess the guy who goes up in flames at the end, he like does a side eye and he scrunches the cup right then as well.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Little
S-
things are there.
So much to pick up, even on second or
Correct.
third viewing.
Exactly right. I wonder how do they get the audio like to be like that? Did they just sync it afterwards or something like that? It must have been a lot of that. Must have been post production.
Yeah,
But and they could have just probably just got some sample of the sounds. Must have had a mic as well somewhere around, just capturing the sounds, or maybe that device captures the sounds. I don't know, because I thought the sound was so. Yeah, it was just incredible. Like even
Oh
just then,
yeah.
you saw how it sort of moves
Well,
across and just changed.
yes.
I was like, whoa, that's pretty effective. But yeah, man,
Well,
pretty incredible. Let's see. This is probably one of my favorite parts when he's running through the crowd.
The character, and the characters should not go out of the frame, and you are moving through massive crowds who are not at all controllable. Like when
Wow.
you don't have any control on the crowd, they'll just move in and out. There is just one instance where you can see the camera hit on someone's shoulder, and so what happens in the equipment is like the camera is basically hung in the center of the equipment, and so once it is hit on a object, it'll take a while to balance itself to the center. The crowd was stretching from one point of the street to the other point of the street. So we had these loudspeakers which was hoisted in each post lamp, and so whichever instructions we give, so we knew that the crowd has the characters have moved from this house to that house, this place to this place. So we'll instruct it like that. It's now you be attentive. I mean, the characters are moving to your place. Please don't look into the camera. I mean, the camera is coming behind. No, please not hit on the camera. I mean, we have to cut the shot if you hit on the camera. Initially, we had planned a stunt artist who will come out of the fire and will fall in front of. So basically, when both these guys will run into the run into the close vicinity of fire, they'll have a fight. Marangoti Sijo, who's the negative guy, he's kicked into the fire. So when after he being kicked into the fire, I mean, we literally go around the main guys and come behind the main guys, so that we see
amazing.
the stunt artist coming from the fire outside. So that was a plan. So but it didn't work like that because it looked so odd when the stunt artist did it. It wasn't looking real at all. So we had to remove the fire artist, and till the kick we shot, and we revolved into the fireball. So which we later added a layer of fire and a structure passing through the fire later in the film. So finally, I remember when we finished the shot, DOP was literally, I mean, he just fell down, like because he couldn't hold the cam, he couldn't like literally stand up. When we were checking the shot, it was like all, like we were breathing in and out, like so heavy. Everyone, I still find a lot of flaws, but when I find it like, this is what the best we could make it on that day. And I was so happy, and I said, great, I think we've got it. If you like this episode of Inside a Scene,
that is just
film.
It is amazing to hear the work that goes behind the scenes, man. Like, obviously, you and I both know that takes a lot of effort, but just hearing stories of people carrying these heavy machines, like panting heavily as they're running towards like actors and following them around, it just gives you an appreciation for like what a craft this is and the effort that goes into producing something like this. It's just inspiring.
Exactly right. And the amount of coordination that it takes, like having sort of the people, it's such a good point he brought up that, you know, don't look into the camera, because like again, if you just have someone looking straight into the camera, because these are not actors, the extras, they're just audience, right? So it'd be so tempting for someone to just, you know, give a glance at the camera, and that would just be, it would just ruin the entire, it just ruin the entire feel, because I'm like, okay, wow, this doesn't feel real anymore because you're looking into the camera, but there's none of that. I mean, it's just incredible. But I think
it's great hearing like the little things they do, like the overhead microphones that tell the people on the street, okay, they've moved from here to here. Cameramen are going to come through. Don't look at them when they're coming. Don't try and like get in their way. Just make sure you don't do anything to ruin the scene. It's just like these small things just gives you an appreciation for what goes into this, and really just like he didn't have to do it this way, right? Like there's like you could have done this in a million different ways that didn't require this amount of effort. But
that's true. I would love to know why he actually chose. That would have been a great question to ask. Like, why did you choose to,
Yeah.
specifically go into a one-shot scene, to sort of end the scene? Because you could have made it much easier for you, just for yourself, and just done it like traditional filmmaking. And he's done that. Like, and he does that naturally so well anyway. But to do it like this was. I mean, you're right. The thing is, it doesn't even feel like that, right? Like
No, when you're watching
that's what
it.
he did. When watching it,
Yeah.
it just feels like it's just like it's like just normal Lijo, masterful sort of direction and cinematography. But then afterwards, when you realize, oh my god, it's not cut at all after like 5 minutes, it really blows you away. But yeah, it's just great to sort of hear him talk about it.
Yes.
Obviously, this guy's a genius.
I'm
you know,
It's just so great hearing people like directors speak in their own words about how they
yeah,
went about a process and hearing him talk about it. I love hearing that even he's like, it's not perfect. And I'm like, dude, I can't
I
pick
know,
up anything in that is
I
not
know,
perfect. But, it's
yeah,
that attention to detail, which you see in all of his movies. He's got that attention to
yeah,
detail and he holds himself to
yeah,
a very high standard. And that's reflected in all of his
yeah.
works.
No, it really is. It's funny that he mentioned that it hit somebody on the way, but like
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
if anything, it just adds to the effect of
Added
it.
to it.
you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
makes you feel like you're there
So
because it's like not steady
exactly.
sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So it just gives you a bit of that shaky feeling, like you're in the crowd, and that's what it feels
Yes.
like when you're immersed in there, chasing sort of these characters and seeing everything unfold in front of you. So you just hit somebody on the way, and you yourself are, blurry visioned as well. Just
It feels
incredible.
organic, like a thing that of course could happen, yeah.
Incredible. But yeah, man, this was so much fun to sort of hear him talk about it.
Absolute blast, man.
Um yeah, absolute blast to sort of watch it again, to be honest.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
see that come about. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for listening. We appreciate all the support we've been getting on the channel. Obviously, we've done so much Lijo Jose Pellisery, reactions and reviews on our channel. So check out our entire catalog. If you like Angamaly Diaries, check out our massive deep dive there. And yeah, Sunny, this was awesome. And like always, I'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you on the next one, man. It's been fun.
So,